That's not masculine. That's feminine.
That's your no.
That's it. That's total. That's fake
can you tell me?
masculinity.
Okay.
This demonstration that you gave us for masculinity is
hyper-masculinity.
It's not masculinity.
Okay.
And that's why those guys, some of those guys, do end up in bed with other men.
Jessie Lee Peterson destroys this unmarried marriage expert in this debate and triggers her when he calls her out, as Jessie Lee Peterson wrecks this feminist delusional idea of what masculinity is and makes her go full defense after he brings up her own lustfulness. Let's get in.
Women know that these women who are having sex before marriage and carrying on with different men and loving themselves, do they know that men don't want to marry a woman like that and have children with her?
There are different men out there who want different things. There are different women out there.
Good, decent wife and mother to the children.
That is, then here we go with the false
premises again. They'll do the sex
again.
Stuff because the men are, really into sex, but they don't see that as the kind of woman that they would marry and have a family with.
This is, remember when we talked about false premise, what is another way that you can see that? It seems like you have the blinders on so that you only see that X times X is X. A woman may not be having intercourse because she thinks that's what a man wants.
Maybe that is what a man wants.
Maybe that's what she wants. Maybe she wants some penis. Maybe she wants a deep down-bodied orgasm. Maybe that's what she wants. And maybe she wants that penis to get in there and give her the orgasm that she wants.
That's pretty clear now. How did you become a relationship expert? How did all that come? You walking down the road and you realize, these folks need some help. I'm going to give them help. How did you get into that?
I started making YouTube videos when YouTube was about 2 years old. I had a near-death experience the same year, and that's what actually led me onto YouTube. And I started making videos, and the videos that resonated most with people were the videos when I started talking about loving yourself.
Right.
And everything is relationship. The relationship that you have with yourself is mirrored in the relationship that you have with other people. And so when I started talking about self-love, it resonated with other people and it resonated with the masses. That's how I've been able to amass more than 300,000 social media followers.
Right.
This is how I get 1 million views a month.
Is there a difference between men and women?
Each person has a different ratio of masculine and feminine. I have a feminine side and a masculine side. You have a feminine side and a masculine side as well. So each person has variances of how the feminine and the masculine shows up in their life. The feminine is soothing and calming and nurturing and loving and healing. The masculine is constructive and building and protective, and there's a force to masculinity.
I agree with you that men do have that feminine side to them, but it's something that they should overcome. It's not something that they should hold on to. And the reason that they develop that feminine side is because of the relationship with their mothers. They get her identity for a while, but after a certain period of time, they should be turned over to the father so that they can watch and observe him and overcome the mama that's in them and become real men. And I've noticed that women hate men who hold on to their feminine side because it's like being with another woman and they want a man. Women can't help but be attracted to real men. They don't like weak men.
Each human being needs the balance of masculine and feminine. When a father goes to hold his child, when a father goes to cook, when a father goes to prune a garden, when a father goes to create, that's the feminine side of him.
It's terrible too. It's so destructive.
I'm sorry, what is destructive?
For a man to be that way. See,
and
what you might not understand.
That could be part of your own brokenness, where you've decided that you don't even need affection.
Let me tell you this, what you probably don't understand is it's unnatural for a woman to be emotional like that, and for a while the child need that type of mother's love. But a father's love is not of emotion. He's the spiritual head of his family. He brings the love in to his family, and he receives it from God. And that love is a light unto your feet, because emotions are up and down. They're not good to have. So the father show his children how to overcome that. Do you agree with that?
Of course I don't, and you can see from my face that I'm
I know,
revolted
I see you. Why
by
are
that
you
thought.
rejecting it? Would you
I'm
want,
revolted by it.
would you want to marry a feminine man?
I need a man who is balanced with his masculinity and his femininity.
So you want him to be feminine sometime and masculine sometime?
Did you know?
You don't look like a woman that would want a feminine man. I just don't. I'm not accepting that.
Did you know that a penis feels best when it is not rigidly hard, but in between hard and not so hard? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
But what does that have to do with it?
When a man is too hard, he is unsuitable for a woman.
Amazing. So
a man has to be pliant. The men who are not able to calm down their masculinity, who are not able to damper or temper their masculinity, those are the men who end up with other men. A man who wants to be with a woman has to soften himself and make himself pliable enough for a woman to be with.
he doesn't have to do that, but in his weakness, he think he does, because he doesn't understand that masculinity draws women unto them. They don't have to weaken themselves like that. But
pliable enough for a woman to be with. In other words, pliable enough that he's going to do what I tell him to do. That's what this woman is really saying. Like, no, she wants a guy who's just masculine enough that he's capable to do what he needs to do, and feminine enough that she can boss him around. Meanwhile, she'll have the super masculine guy on the side that she's actually banging while she's married to this dude, lying to him about being a faithful wife. This woman is absolutely delusional. She has no idea what masculinity is, because women aren't the ones who define that. Men are. We define what masculinity is, and they follow. That's the way it goes. They don't get a say in this, because otherwise it's not truly masculinity. It's whatever the crap is that we have now in society, but it is not true masculinity. No, it's this weak, pathetic soy energy that feminists in the left have pushed into young boys, and now they're not even attracted to those same people. Like Jesse Lee Peterson said, you can say whatever you want, but those are still the guys that these chicks want to bang. Like, they'll be with the dude that follows their orders, but they still want to screw that guy. And that's the reality of their nature. That's what gets them off. But let me know in the comments if you think this woman is just trying to control men, and hit that like button. That really helps the algorithm, and let's get back in.
you're right. Men do fall from their masculinity in order to seduce a woman, because they don't know what the power of masculinity.
People are of the false impression that it's the feminine men who, those are the ones who are gay. No, it's the ones who are like, rah rah, I'll never soften myself. I am man. I don't need to be soft. Those are the ones who end up with other men, because they can all be masculine together and roll around, punching and grappling each other.
Do you think that's what masculinity is?
That is hypermasculinity.
What's
yes.
your definition of masculinity?
I gave a definition of the masculine and the feminine earlier.
Let me tell you what it is.
Oh, you're going to tell me what your definition of it is?
I'm gonna tell you
or
exactly.
the definition?
I'm going to tell you the definition.
Where are you getting this definition from, Jesse?
You hear it in my definition. A masculinity is a male who loved God with all his heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else, and his neighbor as himself, meaning that his love, his identity is coming from God through him onto his wife and to his children. Masculinity is not something that you have to put any effort in being. It is natural to be that way once you get to the point where you start to love what's right more than anything else. And it's that power and love that draws the woman unto him. That woman becomes his wife, and he treats her in the way that his Father God is treating him, with love.
Okay.
Isn't that beautiful? Now, I know you like that,
we
right?
all have different definitions of beauty.
But did you like that definition? See,
I
you thought
personally
masculinity
didn't.
was acting out and being
That's
tough.
what the
and-
masculine is.
That's not masculine. That's feminine.
That's your, no.
That's it. That's total. That's
where-
fake
can you tell me-
masculinity.
okay.
This demonstration that you gave us for masculinity is not
Hyper-masculinity.
It's not masculinity.
Okay.
And that's why those guys, some of those guys, do end up in bed with other men. Do you believe there is a wrong and a right?
I believe that there are things that are in alignment with who it is that we choose to be.
So is there a right and a wrong?
I think right and wrong are judgments that different people have based on who it is that they are, what it is that they've taught, and what it is that they want to project. I think that there are things that people, I think there's a person that we want to be, and I think that there's a way that we want to show up in life. And I think that there are things that will help us get there and things that will not.
Are you a real sex? You like sex a lot or something? You're really into sex?
Where's this question coming from
Because
all of a sudden?
you
I
mentioned
said
about
this
the
is a
penis
question
and
that
all
was.
that. I wanted to ask you a question.
So now you're curious about sex and you're
No,
curious
you.
about me and what it is that I'm doing sexually?
No, are you really into that? Having sex?
I think that each person should be able to explore what it is that brings them joy.
Are you doing a lot of exploring?
Excuse me?
Are you doing a lot of exploring?
I think that what it is that I'm doing personally with my vagina is between me, my vagina, and anyone who consents, and I consent to be with me and my vagina. If you want to talk about self-love, let's talk about self-love. If you want to talk about loving yourself and things that have to do with that, but when you start putting my vagina on trial, asking me who's going in my vagina and whether or not I got a lot going in on my vagina, you start to cross the line,
Why
sir.
did I call that? I was just asking if you really into sex.
In my experience, anytime a woman gets extremely defensive when you start talking about anything with her vagina, how many bodies she has, anything, if she gets super defensive, that means she's got a long list. Otherwise, she doesn't have a reason to be defensive over it. I can only imagine whatever demons she's got lurking in her background. And you can listen to this woman define masculinity as this roaring idiot, whatever. Again, women do not define what masculinity is because they don't know what it is. They don't know what it feels like. They don't know what it is to walk in that world. And this is the whole problem with modern women today, is that they are so detached from men. This woman calls it hyper masculinity. No, that's normal. That's normal. Society is so weird, so messed up today that women today can't even identify what masculinity actually looks like because they've never actually experienced it. They never grew up with it. It's foreign to them. It's almost fearful. And now they've just completely detached themselves from it. And this is exactly the danger of feminism, making it even harder for man and woman to actually even have a relationship. But folks, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about what Jesse Lee Peterson had to say, destroying this fake relationship expert who obviously got triggered in this clip. Thanks again, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.